Hi guys, Lisa DeLong. I am back again with one of my most favorite people in the world, Lydia Levine. She is a project manager for Zengar Institute. Before I officially welcome you, Lydie, I would like everyone to know this is part of the Getting to Know You series, and we are introducing all of our staff, and we are so excited that Lydie is here with us. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. One of the questions, and well, of course, when we teach these courses, Lydie, we have all sorts of people ask all sorts of questions. And you particularly have been with Zengar for so long that you have probably tried on every hat that anybody has ever used at Zengar. As this little business started out as such a small business, and you've been there from the get-go, you have been involved with so many different processes. Can you touch on just a minute all of the different projects that, I mean, not projects per se, but all of the different hats that you've worn?
Absolutely. When I first started 10 years ago, I was helping with instructors, with representatives. I was organizing and managing all of the courses that were happening. And I was even doing code on the website.
Wow.
It always evolved. Every year there were things that were changing. There were things that were growing too much that had to be dispersed. Through the years, though, I always kept the event side of it, however, and the translations, obviously, because I spoke French. Yeah, so lots have happened and changed over the years.
Well, you know, as we do this little interview, if you would like to answer that same question again, maybe ask the question and then answer the question in French, I'm positive our French community would love to hear that.
Absolument. Alors, Lise me demande, puisque je parle français, elle m'a posé la question, cela fait combien de temps que je travaille à Zengar et qu'est-ce que je fais depuis ces 10 années? Ça fait environ 10 ans maintenant que je suis à Zengar et j'ai commencé à cause que je parlais le français. Samantha avait besoin d'aide avec les instructeurs, les représentants. Et on commençait à grandir beaucoup et mon aide était arrivée pour aider tout le côté administratif des représentants, des instructeurs, des cours aussi, et ensuite tous les événements, alors les conférences, la traduction, comme vous le savez bien, et aussi juste aider toute l'équipe de Zengar à communiquer avec vous, les Français, partout autour du monde.
Wow. I love it. I know sign language.
Oh, I'd love to know sign language.
Happy to teach you sign language.
Oh, I'd love that.
Teach me French.
There you go.
Too. I would love that too. You know, Lydie, when we work as a team the way we do, each of our little teams, and we have, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 different little teams, but each of our teams have to do our own thing. And very rarely do many of us have to really know and understand what another team is doing. We know that everything we do affects another team, and everybody seems to know where to pick up their pieces and continue to move on with the information. Whereas with you, you have over the years, but even right now with, you know, projects and events and things like that, you have to be pretty actively involved in almost every team all the way down the line. How does that work for you?
Well, that's the side of the job that I really like, is that need to communicate, that need to relay information, that need to share resources among teams. And also noticing where there's a lack of resources or a lack of communication or a lot of information. So I really enjoy and thrive in that kind of environment where I like to relay information to you guys or to brainstorm ideas, to put things together. This team should know, that team should be informed about this or that.
And you're really good at it.
Well, I enjoy it, and I notice the need for it as well. So I just like to be involved, and also because I've worn all those little hats and done a little bit of everything, it's also easy for me to notice which not department, but which team will need that kind of information, or which team should know about this or that we're doing or that we will be doing. So very preventative measures as well that is involved in that kind of
Absolutely.
job. Yeah.
Wonderful. And so when we talk about a project manager, what does a project manager do? I mean, I know what you do for the education team is
Right.
phenomenal, but to get that title, you must be doing an awful lot of other things besides just what we're doing on the education team.
Yes. Actually, a project is kind of like something that has a beginning and an end, right? So we have a need for something. Let's say I'll use just like something that I just did recently was a warranty comparison chart. The project starts with kind of like a need or a request for something very specific, and then you kind of like have to identify every single aspect of it and bringing it all together and having a deadline and just making sure that all teams or all people that are involved can contribute to it, and organizing all of that information into one and then delivering it at the end.
So Lydia, you also oversee all the translations, which is really interesting because we have several different languages, and we try as much as we can, especially with the larger populations or larger communities that we have, to give the information that we have in all languages. So this would be not only our courses, it would be all of the little PDFs, it would be just a variety of things. Can you speak to that and what's involved with translating and working with so many different languages?
The translations is a very big project because it involves obviously many languages, but also we really have to go with demand, like requests that we have, and also in relation with how many trainers that we have in that specific language. Therefore, we won't translate in a language that we only have a few trainers, because that's just taking up resources that we can maybe use elsewhere. Obviously, we're not a big company enough, employees or staff members to be able to translate in hundreds of languages. So we concentrate on the languages that our trainers are most speaking in. And after English, which is, I don't know the percentage now, but which is almost all of our trainers, we do have the second language that is the most spoken is French. So the French translation was a very big one from the very beginning. Back then, 10 years ago, it was actually, I think, the only French speaking, well, not the only French speaking, but the only one that went to French school on staff. Many of us do speak French. Obviously, we're in Montreal. But actually, having gone to school in French, I'm able to properly translate it, written, spoken. But we do hire many outside translators for bigger projects. And they will always go through a priority kind of list, and the education documents are obviously number one. The website, however, I think everybody knows you can use the Google Translate application directly on the website. Keep in mind it's not always super accurate, but for the education department, we go through many levels of translations with someone that speaks French from France. Then I will review it for the branding. Then we'll do another review, and it goes through many stages, and therefore that's why it often takes a very long time. And also because they're ever-changing documents. I mean, edits can happen daily, weekly, right. You know that, right? And therefore the translations also have to follow every change that is being done. So we like to wait till a document or a form or a course is completely finished before we even entertain the idea of translating it. But yeah, great.
You've been very active because you have been putting a lot of emphasis on trying to get as many things translated into French as we possibly can, which I think is fabulous for our French community.
Right. Well, I can translate in French if you like.
Yes.
Alors, je vais traduire ce que je viens de dire pour vous tous en français. Alors, Lise me demandait ce que je fais par rapport au projet de traduction. Dès le départ, il y a 10 ans, j'étais une des membres de l'équipe qui était la seule, je crois, d'avoir été à l'école en français. Alors, c'était un peu ma responsabilité de valider les traductions, d'assurer que les documents et les formulaires étaient bien traduits en français. Et vous avez sûrement remarqué qu'on utilise aussi des traducteurs qui viennent, qui ont le français parlé en France pour assurer que les traductions vont bien se passer dans votre région. Et le processus est souvent très long car nous devons attendre que les documents et les formulaires et toute l'information en anglais soient vraiment complètes. Et ça, comme vous le savez, ça change tous les jours. Donc, on doit toujours garder les versions à jour avec tous les changements qui sont faits. Et souvent, on doit attendre qu'un document anglais soit vraiment complètement terminé avant même d'entamer la traduction en français. Alors, c'est le pourquoi, des fois, que vous n'auriez pas un document en français en même temps que celui en anglais. Et on va aussi par priorité. Alors, on va commencer avec les documents les plus importants à faire traduire et ainsi de suite. Et voilà. C'est les traductions.
Love it. Merci.
Bienvenue.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Lydie, you know, I do have one last question for you. I know you probably can't list every single project that you're working on.
My absolute favorite project is always our conference.
Yeah.
I mean, I started those conferences 10 years ago with the first ones in Europe when we introduced AutoNav. And then we went to Palm Springs twice, then Florida, and then we brought the conference back to Montreal because this is where most of our staff is from, and our staff being continuously growing. It is very easy for us to organize such a big event here where we all live. And I mean, these conferences, it's like a wedding. I often compared it to a wedding planning event because you have to have a location. I have to negotiate a contract with the location, which are obviously always hotels. But a lot goes into the behind the scenes of organizing a conference. There's obviously getting submissions for presentations, organizing those schedules, organizing everything that is behind the scenes at the conferences, and every single one gets bigger and bigger and involves more moving parts like translations that are simultaneous translations, all the graphics, web pages that we have to create, fact sheets that we have to create, translating all of those, organizing all the registrations online, the streaming, that was a big one. So it's incredible. I love it. I strive when I organize it and plan it, and it's one of my favorite things to do.
I love it. I love it. You just blossom as soon as you start talking about it. You can tell you're excited about it.
It's my baby. I love it.
That is so fun. Lydie, I really have looked so forward to having this interview with you. You are just so awesome.
Thank
I just
you.
love it, love it, love it. And I love that I get honored that I get to work with you every day. It's just so
here.
So thank you, everyone. This is going to conclude our little session with Lydie. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. She, again, like all the staff, are very approachable and look forward to hearing from you. So thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.